Hi, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about the final exam now. You're going to get an email the same time all the lectures for this week go up, and it gives you instructions and it gives you topics. It's a review, but I figured let me try to also explain it to answer some anticipated questions. So, your final exam is going to, you have an option. You have option one and you have option two. I gave you about 20 topics, and some of them are just review questions. What is the duty of an agent to a principal? Bang, 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 right? That's in the lectures. What know the case of Gawler versus Gawler? How what's the difference between a derivative and a direct lawsuit? All this stuff is in that review sheet. So if you choose option one, you're going to study these 20 items as if you actually were going to go to take an exam in the classroom. Remember back in the day, you've only taken the one exam in the classroom where I would come around, I'd check your arms, your hats, the desks, all that stuff. You weren't allowed any notes with you because it was going to be an exam. You were going to study before the exam, and the day of the exam, you were going to get the questions and answer them. So, um, this is kind of what option one is, except that there's going to be a time limit on it. So you're getting 20 topics, 20 questions from all the stuff since chapter 2. And you're going to, if you choose to go with option one, you're going to send me an email. And I gave you the format of the email, the information I want. You need to pay attention and you need to follow my instructions because it really not only is it annoying, but it also wastes my time. So let's try to save me some time, please, for the love of God. So you're going to tell me the class that you're in. You're going to tell me the times of availability that you have, and I'm basically going to do a testing, a one-on-one test with you, where I decide I pick 10 questions out of those 20, and I say to you, and I ask you. So we'll have 20 minutes. We'll have a timer, and so let's say we'll take it a step back. You tell me you are available anytime on, let's say, your Monday night class. I'm available anytime from 6:30 p.m. until midnight. I'm also available on Tuesday between the hours of 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. I'm also available between the hours of 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. I want to know all the availability that you have for a couple of days in case I have a lot of students. Don't forget I have 95 students, okay? So I want to be able to accommodate you if this is the option that you want. So you give me all your times of availability. I gave you a deadline, okay, a deadline that you must email me by, because then I'm going to have a schedule of when I contact you, and then I'll let you know, hey, I'm going to be contacting you on Monday night between 10 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. So you're going to make yourself available. You're going to be sitting there by your phone or via email. You're going to be sitting there waiting for me to call you, and I'm going to call you. And then I'm going to say, you ready? Yes. Name. You're going to tell me your name. I'm going to have it write it down. I'm going to just shoot off those questions, and you're going to answer them. If I tell you, what legal principle does Kessler versus Bayer talk about? So you need to know what that case was about and what was the underlying, what was that case about? Just tell me in a few words. If you want to use a sentence or two, that's fine. But, what are the duties of an agent to a principal? Blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to give you the answers now. I've already given you this stuff in the lectures. And so it shouldn't even take the 20 minutes because I'm going to ask you a question and you're going to answer it. And I'm going to write down, you answer right, bang, 10 points. So I'm selecting 10 questions, so every question is worth 10 points. You get it right, you get that 10. You only could recall 2 out of the 4 things, you get 5 points for that. So at the end, I'll be able to tally and tell you, okay, your final exam, you got this. So you're going to be done, finished with that final exam. If you say to yourself, hey, this is too much pressure, I don't want to do that, you have option two. And option two is going to be a paper, okay? It must be 3 pages minimum, single spaced. You're going to get your topic or topics the day of your exam. So if you're on Monday night, it'll be posted on Blackboard Monday night at 6:30. If you're on Wednesday evening, it'll be Wednesday evening at 6:30 that it's posted. And you're going to have the question or questions there, and you're going to have to answer them. You have 24 hours, Okay, 24 hours. So if I post at 6:30, that means the next day by 6:30 p.m. I need it. And I want to be very clear because many of you follow directions, but there's always that some that don't. The extra credit, for example, the extra credit, I said, I gave it to you on like Monday or Tuesday or whatever, and I said you have until Friday at noon. Not a minute past noon to this particular email address, right? Written down, days of notice. As a matter of fact, I'd spoken to many of you. You had questions, I responded back. Some of you decide to email me at 12:30 in the afternoon, so a half hour past the deadline. I'm not even going to look at it. Some of you emailed me like 11 o'clock at night on Friday. I'm not going to look at it either. I gave you the extra credit opportunities, 2 of them, and I set a deadline. You have to follow directions, okay? For the final exam, you get 20 minutes. We need to get through those questions. I'm going to rattle them off. Don't worry, I'm not going to be wasting any time. And if you don't get to that last question, which you should, then you'll get a 90 or maximum, 90 or whatever it is. If you're going to choose through the paper, 24 hours is your maximum on it, and then it has to be emailed. If it's late, you're going to get deducted. Now, if you're under a documented disability, it must be documented. So I need to have something from the Office of Disabilities to let me know. If I knew about you, then that's fine. But if you're telling me, hey, I want some extra time because I've gotten extra time in the past, I need some documentation from CSI. Some of you have already given me that information at the very beginning of the semesters, and others have not. I need to follow rules, and I need to be consistent with all the students. It's not fair that I make exceptions for one and not the other. So I have to try to be fair to everybody, okay? So if you are under disability, you get the time and a half. So you will have that. But again, you're getting 24 hours, which is plenty of time. If you're going to use sources to answer your questions, then you need to cite those sources. And listen to this part now. Already listen. When you give me answers to questions, it must be from my lectures or the textbook. Let me say it again. When I ask you questions for the final exam, whether the paper or the first option, the answers must be from my lectures or your textbook. Don't use Google, okay? Don't use things that they learn about in Kentucky or Alabama or California, okay? Because things could be different. And this is why I'm giving you lectures, right? I can tell who has logged on and who has watched lectures. And as of today, May 11th, it is 12:42 a.m., a little almost 1 o'clock in the morning. When I looked at the postings I did for last week, the lectures, 40 out of 95 students have watched. So what does that tell me? You're not focusing, you're not paying attention. You're supposed to be reading every week, and you're supposed to be listening to this stuff every week. I'm not doing this for my health because I know this stuff already. You don't, so you have to learn. So don't think you're going to wait the night before, Google, and you'll be fine. And I think a lot of you learned that way from the second exam. There's not going to be any more extra credit. Whatever you get, you get. A lot of you have emailed me your extra credit assignments, and I know I have not replied because I decided to take a weekend off, in all honesty, because the past 3-4 weeks, every weekend, every evening, I've spent grading papers. And I also work, as you know, in the court system. So from 9 to 5, I'm working, and I have 2 kids. So I'm tired as well. We're all tired. That's why I do my lectures at 1 o'clock in the morning. So please, please, please follow instructions and send me your papers when I'm telling you to send them. The last thing, this is the last lecture you see. This is the last video you see. Normally in class, the last day of classes, I like to say a few words to the students. I only got to know you for a few weeks before kind of everything changed. And I could say that some of you have a lot of potential. I love the law. I love my job. I love teaching. And it's so important to find something that you truly love and care about, because that's how you excel. Don't half-ass things in life, okay? Do your best. Try your best. Be the best version of yourself. That may sound cliche. You might say, I don't know what I'm talking about. You don't know how I grew up, all right? I came to this country not speaking a word of English. 7 years old. My parents, I couldn't go to my parents so they could tell me, oh, this is what you go to school here for. This teacher is going to be this. This is how you go to college. I learned all that stuff myself. And I think that's what makes me so driven. I want you to be as driven. Right now, the whole world is kind of turned upside down. Use it as an opportunity to do good. Do good in life. Pay it forward. Help those around you. Find the bright light. Be that bright light. And just be that best person that you can be so you can excel. If you decide to go to law school, let me know. I would love to take a look at your personal statements. I still hear back from students, not just a semester ago, 2 semesters ago, years ago. I love hearing back from students, and I love seeing where you go in life. So be careful, do good in life, and you have my contact information, my Gmail. That's really the best way to reach me. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out. Best of luck to you. It has been a pleasure. Hopefully, I'll see you around campus soon enough. Good night.